Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of that show that will not be named. My name is 2GamePrince, your host, or Brian, whatever you prefer. And today I would like to talk about a movie I saw last night. It goes by the little name of Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, when I got out of the film, one of my friends kept constantly asking for my opinion on this film. And I promised a bunch of people that today I would be uploading this video to give them a little synopsis. I liked it. It was a pretty good add-on to... It was a Marvel MCU movie, if I'm blandly putting it. It was a Marvel MCU movie. But Spider-Man was pretty good. I liked the way it was executed and everything. I liked the character development. If I could put it that way. I'm not sure. The whole thing just felt very strange to me. Especially through bits of the movie, and now this might just be because it was made in this time, in this generation, but in the movie there is a hell of a lot of political correctness being... That's not one of the first things I noticed off the... They don't even make it subtle. It's like, right off the bat, you notice a lot of political correct shit, like... There's one time in one of the scenes they're in D.C. and this building, the D.C., the monument, Washington Monument or whatever, starts to collapse. And it was before this. The teacher goes and it's like, oh, you want a picture with this thing? And one of the black girls goes, I don't want a picture with something made by slaves, built by slaves. And then they have like this whole like silent moment like, was it really built by slaves? What? And then later, before that in the film, you've got... Michael Keaton, who plays Vulture, talking to one of the members of his crew, and it's like, hey, my daughter drew the Avengers and whatnot, and then he's like, when I was younger, I used to draw cowboys and Indians, and then the guy next to him goes, Native Americans? Like, okay, we get it. That kind of bugged me, because that was just thrown in. I hate when writers, I don't know, maybe it's just like a product of this time, but it's just kind of those things that were just added in, just not needed. It was just an excuse to cram, like, politically correct shit in your face, is what I took it as. But it was just little shit like that, like, okay, I see what you're attempting here. I mean, I don't find it funny. I don't find it... It's not going to change my opinion about anything. It's just kind of like, oh, well, did you know this? Oh, well, did you know this? And I just hate that kind of attitude about attempting to reason whatever the fuck they were trying to reason. But other than that, Flash, remember Flash, the guy who bullied Peter Parker? He's Indian now and not as threatening anymore. Mary Jane's black, and we don't find out who Mary Jane is till the end of the movie. The whole time there's this character that's just lingering around, and you're just like, what is her significance? Who is she? You find out at the end of the movie that, oh, I'm so-and-so. My friends call me MJ. She's a very contradicting character. Obviously wants Peter's dick so bad, but it doesn't work out. Peter Parker has a new friend, that I've never heard or seen of before. Maybe he's in one of the other universes. I don't know. This is just an extremely different Spider-Man. We don't see Ben Parker being killed for the umpteenth time. So they left that out of the film and more or less just tell you, hey, Aunt May's got a shitty past. So... But Vulture was good. I think the ideas were great. They have this funny segment. Hannibal Buress is back. I believe Hannibal Buress was in... I don't know why I thought this, but I had a dream. I'm going to look this up, actually. I'm curious now. Hannibal Buress was in the movie. And I could have sworn I saw Hannibal Buress in another movie. And I had a dream last night. I'm not gonna lie. I had a dream last night that he was in the second Spider-Man movie. I don't know. I gotta see this. And Hannibal Buress just being on screen, he's always funny. He's funny doing nothing. the man is just like, I think, a walking bag of laughs. He's just, I think, at first appearance, he's just like an all-around chill guy. Maybe he's like off the walls or something, but Hannibal Buress was in this movie. He played one of the teachers, and I could have sworn. Okay, no. He was in, that's the movie I saw him in, Daddy's Home. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought he was in a Spider-Man movie before. I thought they carried him over. But, Iron Man's in this movie. Happy's back. We also get the addition of a new character that had left and that we didn't think was going to come back. And we're about 5 minutes in. I'm estimating this will be like maybe a 10-minute video. So, cutoff point right here. We're gonna jump into spoilers. Alrighty, Spider-Man is dating Vulture's daughter and takes her to the prom, and then he finds out who he is, and then it's a whole fight. This movie takes place when Stark is moving out of the tower. He sold the tower to like contractors or some shit, so they're moving all their shit to the new base that you see in Ant-Man, because Stark Tower was destroyed, so can't really, it's kind of a bad base of operations. They relocated out to the middle of buttfuck nowhere, where, like I said, you see in Ant-Man. Then Captain America, it's funny because they have this whole scene where Captain America, they have a bunch of like training videos for kids, like, welcome to gym class. Is like, here's your gym teacher, and he points off to like that side of the screen, but the gym teacher's standing on the other side of the screen. That being Hannibal Buress. Then he also runs detention, and then it's a video of Cap like, so you made it to detention. I know you made mistakes, but what are you gonna do to fix those mistakes? And it's funny because Hannibal Buress remarks upon the fact that, like, I know I'm supposed to be showing these and everything, but technically he's a war criminal. So it's just your average Marvel humor. Very different setup. They have the whole Spider-Man theme in the beginning with the Marvel logo coming into frame and everything, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, it turns out that Vulture, he runs a whole like underground weapons operation because he was originally like cleanup and construction or whatever, and him and his crew got a hold of alien technology from the first Avengers movie with the giant sky whales that, you know, attacked the city, crash landed, and died. So that's what he ends up using to create all this shit, and he basically steals, him and his crew steal weapons from the cleanup. There's like this new like cleanup defense force or whatever established by the government that's now used to clean up shit, pretty much. But Vulture, Michael Keaton, and his crew keep stealing from them to make them into weapons, to make this alien technology into weapons to sell to people, and that's what Michael Keaton uses to, you know, support his family. Then we have Aaron Davis, which, if any of you know, is probably, I believe in the comics he's the Prowler. He plays a very minor role in this. He was going to buy weapons from one of Michael Keaton's guys, and really like a one-off character. I don't think they're really going to do anything with him. I think it was more of a name drop than anything, because I know Marvel likes to do that. So they introduced, you know, Aaron Davis, who's the Prowler. Then they introduced the sidekick, kind of a sidekick to Vulture, I guess, the Shocker, who is, I'm not sure on the popularity of the character. I just heard about him yesterday, and as soon as I'm watching the movie, I'm watching the Spider-Man movie, and every time they name something like the Shocker, the this, the that, I'm looking up, I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm getting the full story, so that when I watch the movie, I'm like, okay, I get that now. So that was pretty interesting. They set up the Sinister Six, or at least I think they set up. Basically, Michael Keaton gets rescued by Peter Parker in the end. His wings explode because it turns out that the alien energy orbs or shit that they're using to power their alien technology are bombs if they're exposed to like radiation or some shit. And so Peter Parker saves Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton gets sent to jail, and the first after credits scene is Keaton walking into prison, and he sees one of the guys that he used to work with He's got like a scar on his face now. He's got like like bloody eye, and I believe he had a tattoo of a scorpion on his neck. So, scorpion. Next movie, I could be wrong. Might have been on his arm. I didn't notice this at first. My friend ended up telling me about it. But pretty much they're setting up Scorpion for the next movie. So like, okay, Scorpion, next movie, good, okay. But then he goes, I got a few friends on the outside that would love to take a crack at your Spider-Man friend. And people say, you know who he is. And then Michael Keaton, because Spider-Man saved him. Sure, he sent him to jail, but he saved his life. And he also saved his Michael Keaton's daughter's life. So he's just been saving the Vulture, and Vulture, I think, was kind of like, you know what, I'm in jail, I deserve this. So he tells the guy who's going to become Scorpion, he's like, if I knew who Peter Parker was, he'd already be dead. So we know Vulture's probably not coming back. He's probably just going to serve his time like a man and, just be gone with the whole thing. Put his whole criminal past behind him. So that's interesting. I don't know what it is, but every single time, whenever it's a Spider-Man movie, the villains always kind of have some kind of degree of humanity or humility to them. Like the Sandman was just a misunderstood rapper trying to help his daughter. The Green Goblin was just Osborn, but he had that split personality from the gas, and he didn't want to do the things that he did, but the Goblin convinced him. Then you got Venom, Eddie Brock, who's just a fucked up dude who the Venom totally corrupted him. Then you have Electro from the other reboot movies, who was confused with his power at first and then, started killing because he just couldn't figure out any way around it. He just was so mentally fucked by everybody. And who else we got? I think I went through almost everybody. Oh, then Dr. Octopus, who just wanted to avenge the death of his wife, and really the only way, I guess, to carry on his legacy, and he was convinced by his artificial intelligent arms to pretty much everyone in the Spider-Man movies I've seen, they're all kind of twisted in some way where it's like the real person underneath doesn't really want to do what they're doing. They're commanded by some force or some split personality or some kind of artificial intelligence of some sort. And with this, it's nice to see a villain that actually broke away from that. A, broke away from that. B, didn't die. And C, lives to see another day knowing that Spider-Man saved them. So that was a very interesting change-up. Same thing with, what was the other movie? I think I made a reference in the past to Doctor Strange. How in Doctor Strange, the big baddie doesn't die. He's just told to fuck off. And off he does fuck. So, like I said, very nice change-up. And, that's really all I got to say about the movie. That'll probably end it for the spoilers. Stan Lee is in it, of course. He plays an angry Brooklyn person, so that was pretty funny. And the final last credit scene didn't set up anything for a Marvel movie. The first end credit scene was Vulture in jail, setting up possible Sinister Six and the Scorpion. And the next film after that, the next cutscene after that, features Cap standing in front of a white screen. They kept dropping those little I guess you could call them how-to videos, what-to-do videos throughout the film. They played them in New York schools because it's Cap, and it's like, hey, do you support your school team and stuff like that? And at the ending, they have him talking about, I guess it's supposed to be, a reference to waiting for films and waiting for Marvel films for so long, them showing up and you being totally disappointed. Not that I think that's ever happened, but he made a video on that. He's like, have you ever waited so long for something just to figure out, it wasn't worth it, and then you wondered why you wasted all that time waiting for something that you ended up being disappointed with? And everyone was laughing. It was kind of funny and awkward. And then he looks off screen. He's like, how many more of these do we have to do? So that was pretty good. And then, of course, Spider-Man will return. So, waiting on that. And overall, pretty decent movie. It was definitely a Marvel movie. Finally glad to see Spider-Man inducted into their little thing. So, Yeah, pretty nice. Alright, I think that's going to about do it. I have to head over to work now. I will see you guys later.